We go live to the United Nations. The representative of Trinidad and Tobago speaks at the 24th plenary meeting on the need to end the U.S. blockade against Cuba.
That discriminatory trade practices and the extraterritorial application of domestic laws are in violation of the United Nations Charter and of international law, and only serve to undermine our collective ambitions enshrined in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Such practices undermine global solidarity, multilateralism, and genuine cooperation, which underpin our collective efforts towards accelerating actions towards peace, prosperity, progress, and sustainable development. The economic, commercial, and financial embargo unjustly imposed against Cuba continues to impede its potential towards the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals and hinders the full enjoyment of human rights by the Cuban people, including the right to development. Mr. President, opposition to this anachronistic policy is now almost universal in nature, with the General Assembly having passed this resolution every year since 1992, condemning the ongoing impact of the embargo and declaring it to be in violation of the Charter of the United Nations and international law. Trinidad and Tobago had, therefore, welcomed with enthusiasm and hope the reopening of direct and frank dialogue between both parties in 2015 and the adoption of this very resolution during the 71st session of the General Assembly, when not a single member voted against it. However, regrettably, that optimism was short-lived, and additional restrictions through the Helms-Burton Act were imposed, which Trinidad and Tobago maintains is inconsistent with international law. The unconvincing designation of Cuba as a state sponsor of terrorism also only serves to deepen the chasm of mistrust and further frustrates any possibility for the normalization of diplomatic relations. Mr. President, in closing, Trinidad and Tobago will continue to support regional and international efforts to promote constructive dialogue to bring about the cessation of the embargo in place against Cuba, which significantly challenges the achievement of sustainable development in that country and by extension the wider Caribbean region. Might I add, Mr. President, that in our collective pursuit of peace, prosperity, progress, and sustainability, it is imperative that no one is left behind. For this reason, Trinidad and Tobago once again reaffirms its unceasing call for the cessation of the economic, commercial, and financial embargo against Cuba sooner rather than later, and for the full and unconditional reintegration of Cuba into the international system. Trinidad and Tobago will therefore continue its full support for the resolution on the necessity of ending the economic, commercial, and financial embargo by the United States of America against Cuba. I thank you.
The distinguished representative of Trinidad and Tobago, and now invite the distinguished representative of Colombia to take the floor.
We were listening to the statements of the representative of Trinidad and Tobago, who condemned the ongoing impact of the U.S. blockade on Cuba. The official also rejected the inclusion of Cuba in the list of states that sponsor terrorism. Trinidad and Tobago called for the end of the coercive policy and the full and unconditional re-inclusion of Cuba in the international community.